Nutrition and fueling. Quick overview of what this presentation is about. Aligning goals, fueling performance, refueling and repairing, high net gain nutrition, nutrition periodization, Whole30, race fueling, supplements, and some templates. So aligning goals. Every journey should have a goal. So we all need to look at why we're doing what we've set out to do, and then base your dietary macronutrient percentages around that. So are you somebody who is training to increase performance, or are you exercising for health and body awareness? So then you look at, are you somebody who is a lean, lanky runner and you need to build muscle in order to be better at strength sports? Do you need to maintain muscle? Or are you someone who's come from a bodybuilding background and you may even need to cut some muscle down? So then you base percentages based off of that. Obviously, the people who need to build more muscle will have a higher percentage of protein in their diet. So fueling performance. Carbs are energy, so they are your most preferred source of energy. You have to think of yourself like a high performance sports car. You wouldn't give 87 gas to that sports car. You want to give it what it's best at. Yes, will it run on fat? But it's not the most efficient way. 15 minutes before a workout or a race, you want to have some kind of very high glycemic source of carbohydrates. So that would be a gel, maple syrup, honey. But you don't want it to be any more than 15 minutes. If you start to get to that 20-minute window, then your body has time for the insulin to increase and drop. You want to avoid fat and fiber, vitamins, minerals. All these things are going to make the digestion process slower, and which costs energy. Sport drink is great. It's a simple carbohydrate. You know, a lot of people make the mistake of not eating enough during their workouts. And this can be for body composition goals or, you know, an inability to tolerate some of these things. The problem is when you're in a catabolic state, meaning a burning state, that is a very negative environment for your body in terms of immunity and hormonal response. So if you're feeding your body during these sessions, you're more likely to promote health and build muscle. So you've fueled your workout, you've had your carbs beforehand, you've had your gels or shot blocks or bars during. Then when you're done, you have a 30-minute window in which your ability to repair and to build muscle is threefold. So if you miss that window, you've really missed out on an opportune time to change your body composition. You want to first put some carbohydrate in to replenish the glycogen, which promotes recovery. You want some rehydration, and then you want some amino acids, so that would be protein. So one of the examples I always give is the best recovery meal could be something like gummy bears and egg whites. So it's a simple sugar, it's absorbed quickly, and a protein that's very simple. So liquid is a great option because it's absorbed quickly and it also eliminates manual digestion, which costs energy. High net gain nutrition. So take this example, you've had your carbs before, you've had your, lots of sugary stuff during, and then, maybe you followed that up with some kind of sport drink with protein. So now you really need to focus the rest of your diet on high net gain, nutrient dense foods. If you have 500 calories of salmon and kale, that's going to take up much more volume than 500 calories of Twix and Kit Kats. So you want to think about how much nutrition you can get per calorie. And this comes down to things like lean protein, nuts, seeds, veggies, healthy fats, to fill you up during your non-workout times. Another thing to consider is if you are somebody with high performance goals, you need to be taking, overall in a year, you'll be taking in more of the traditional sports products. So it's a good idea to periodize your diet as well as your training sessions. So in a base phase, that's when you're more likely to build more protein. Workouts are less complex, not so hard on the body. So this is a time you can really utilize whole food fueling, sweet potatoes, dates, rice, honey, maple syrup, and then go back to those little more traditional products when you get to that build phase. Whole30 is a program which I use with people to help them create a custom diet. So you basically take out all potential allergens, soy, dairy, alcohol, sugar, you name it. And then you systematically introduce each food group back in and you look at how it works in your body. You basically then take Whole30 plus whatever foods you are able to digest, and you add those in to be 80% of your diet. The other 20% is whatever you like. Race fueling. So race fueling should be practiced throughout training and mirror training fuel. Again, no fat, no fiber. Practice, practice, practice. The only two things you have control of in racing are pacing and nutrition. So if your nutrition is dialed in, you know exactly what to take, when to take it, how it's going to make you feel. That's one less variable you have to deal with. Immunity is something that takes a hit with endurance exercise, and some supplements such as the ones listed here are great ways to kind of boost up that immune system. There's also quite a few supplements out there. These are more performance-orientated supplements that definitely need to be addressed with a physician for specific use, but beta-alanine's a great one, kind of helps with that. It's a hydrogen buffering agent, so that feeling you get, that burn in your legs, it helps you work through that. There's been a lot of research about bicarb, buffering acid, beetroot juice, creatine. There's a lot of controversy about this one, but it's a very good supplement to be used in your low BMI athletes to help boost strength. And there are some herbal supplements down at the bottom there that help with hormonal distress and energy production. The best ergogenic aid is caffeine. So it's going to stimulate your heart rate. And a lot of people abuse this drug. If the two drugs being caffeine and sugar, if you use them properly, they can be of a huge advantage to you with training. So if you're not drinking 100 milligrams of coffee just to sit at your desk, then you make yourself more sensitive to it. And, let's say you're drinking herbal tea and you're eating, those high net gain nutrient foods. When you drink a cup of coffee and have a bowl of cornflakes, your body's going to go, wow, this is great. And it's going to benefit your training and races. So here are some good, better, best options. So, those are good examples of snacks. The alcohol thing, obviously none of them are great, but, if you're going to make those choices. So just ways to, a lot of people rely on the bars, but, it's not always the best way. So here's a sample day of the standard American diet versus this high nutrient gain performance focused diet. And you'll see the majority is they're really eating their carbs around their workouts, and the snacks are very nutrient dense. So ultimately the person on the right is going to get much more nutrition in and recover better. A survival snack kit. So I recommend that everybody has some long life snacks that are nutrient dense to keep on them at all times, because anytime you get hangry, that's when you're likely to make bad choices. So here's a list of some foods that I recommend having on hand at all times. So this is a color coding chart that I use to help athletes with their nutrition. So red is pre-workout, yellow is during, green is post, pink is nutrition, and then gray is not either. So on the left, you have an example of a rest day or somebody who's not active. And you can see it's pretty much all nutrition. And then they have about 20% not either. And it's healthy to have that 20% in your diet. If you look at the example on the right, you can see the red, yellow, green is the workout. The evening workout doesn't have a yellow because it's a short workout, so nothing during. And that, color coding it this way helps make you see that your carbs and your sugary foods are always surrounding your workouts. So I actually sell a survival kit snack with some of those items in a bag for $60. And then I have on the left there a sample fueling kit. So there's like a little sample of all different kinds of sport product I recommend. That's $40. And then I also have a book of basically my guide to Whole30. And that's it. That is some information